Hello again, everybody. It's me, William Gamble. Again, I'll be in the credential program spring 2019. I want to teach agriculture with a focus in welding. Um, Here's my lesson plan. It is social media on agriculture topics. Estimated time about 40 to 50 minutes. My hook about 5 minutes. Input strategy about 15 minutes. Application 8 minutes with a review about 5 minutes. Standards, understanding the difference between fake and real posts about agriculture. References and resources, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, Google Scholar, and Chico State Merriam Library. Materials, worksheets, electronic devices such as cell phones, tablets, or computers. And our objectives will be students will be able to identify fake or biased posts about agriculture practices, and students will be able to research to justify a post or reject a post and ultimately think for themselves. Some special circumstances, our research must be done on reliable scholarly articles. Some languages are just post status, memes, fake news, and bias. So the hook would be a text in response on this program I have. Students will text what first comes to mind when they think of social media. Anything that comes to mind, they would text it to the provided number, and then answers will appear on the screen in a big group. And some of the words that have more than one will show up bigger and bigger. Objective, identify fake or biased posts about agriculture practices. We would just go over aspects of posting and allow students to look at their own social media feeds and determine which posts from friends are genuine or fake, and they would then discuss that in groups. I would also show them the slide of the 7 types of mis and disinformation and explain that to them. Check for understanding which posts are genuine or fake using very basic examples that I would have gathered from Facebook, and I would just get their opinions on what they thought was fake or genuine. Our first application would be a worksheet, and it would be for ag social media posts, and basically we would provide them a worksheet and a worksheet for them to search social media ag topics of either slaughter practices, GMOs, or environmental effects of agriculture. I would just narrow it down to those 3 so it wouldn't get too crazy, but they would have their choice between those 3, and they could fill in themselves on one side for posts supporting either of those topics or against any of those topics. They will have 10 minutes per side of the worksheet, and they could choose to work by themselves or in pairs if they want. At the conclusion of each 10 minutes, they will go over the topics, and we will discuss some of the posts that they found, and then they will work on the other side. Objective 2, students will be able to research to justify a post or reject a post, and ultimately think for themselves. First thing I would do is I would go over what is a reliable source, which here is material such as an article, book, monograph, or research paper that has been vetted by a scholarly community and regarded as reliable, where the material has been published in reputable peer-reviewed sources or by well-regarded academic presses. Then I would show them a short YouTube video that I found. It's a very good video if you guys would like to watch. It has very good advice at the end on how to decipher what is fake and what's not, and how to do your research, and basically how the brain works and why we keep believing fake news. It's a very good video. Check it out. Here's the link. Then after that, the students will do research to justify or reject the posts that they have collected. And then after they have done their research, I would ask them to write a short paragraph about their findings to include the following: which posts were true, why do you think the false posts were posted on the topic, and did your opinions and views change on the topic, and if so, they can explain. Our review at the end would be a Kahoot quiz, and they can use their phones to participate in the review, and it will see their scores and everything, and top scores will have some incentive. This whole lesson will involve the students having some kind of device, which since the youth and teens are always on their phones and tablets and so on, I believe it will kind of keep them engaged. You just have to be sure that they're focused on the task at hand, and I think that this would help the situation because being able to think for themselves, it would give them confidence to see what's real and what's not, and if people are posting fake news or false posts and really just trying to be biased and influence people a certain way, they can just unfollow them or just think for themselves. Basically, it would just make them think for themselves. So this is the way I would include it in the agriculture practices, because there's always so many issues involving agriculture with people posting, with the whole thing about livestock practices and that's why people are becoming vegan and so on and so forth, when a lot of it is not true if they really did their research. Environmental practices or environmental effects with agriculture practices, just GMOs. There's just not enough research on GMOs to really make a decision. So as long as these students start doing their research and they know how, I think that their social media use will be put to better use rather than what they're doing now. So appreciate you guys listening. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Later.